do a quick introduction. I'm Brandon Carlisle. I am 37 years old. I'm married to a beautiful, amazing woman. I have 2 kids and 4 amazing bonus kids. And I'm here to talk to you about Tough Enough movement. My definition of tough throughout the years has evolved. When I was younger and probably even well into my 30s, being tough was being bigger, being badder, being stronger, being faster, being the guy in the movies that people didn't fuck with, right? Uh, it was somebody you didn't lip off to, somebody to throw the first punch, somebody who would win it no matter the means. And that's what I grew up and that's what I strived to be. And so starting at a young age, I started competing in sports and lifting, trying to get bigger for those athletics and everything like that. And so I was a very small child, and so I figured that the bigger I got, the stronger I was, the better man I would be, right? And so I competed with sports all through high school, football, wrestling, rugby, track, things like that. And then after high school, went into some extracurricular football, and then eventually CrossFit, Olympic lifting, powerlifting, and all those things. Always competing and trying to be tougher than everybody else, right? And at the same time, I was that guy to throw the first punch. I was, if I didn't like what you were saying or didn't like where things were going, then I was going to be the tough guy, and I was going to let you know that. And as I've gotten older, and now my definition of tough, I want it to become different. I want people to think of it differently, because people have seen that side of me. They've seen the competitor, the athlete, the ball of testosterone and anger. You know, what a lot of them haven't seen is the struggles that I've gone through and the struggles that I've coped with, and all in very negative ways a lot of times, but of depression and anxiety and just not feeling tough enough or man enough. And that I can't even remember when it started, having those feelings of inadequacy, and then having it build further into depression and suicidal urges and thoughts. Some people know, like I've made posts about a little bit of depression and having a suicide attempt a few years ago that almost killed me. It put me in the hospital for a week. It gave me, I didn't think I was going to be normal again. I'd overdosed, and in that hospital, like I had a whole total brain fog. I thought my mind was going to be messed up for a while. Like it took a little while to start walking and talking straight again. And so some people know that, but what they don't know is it's been an ongoing thing for me. In high school, I had 2 suicide attempts. Luckily for me, I mean, they didn't take, obviously. But most people wouldn't have known that, and even my closest friends didn't know that. You know, they would have looked at me, and I was a decent athlete, I was a decent student, I had a decent sized friend group, like I was a tough kid, you know, but that depression and everything was too much for me at times. And I did the 2 times. The one time my buddies pulled me out of a thing of water where I'd inhaled, and he pumped the water out of me and brought me back. And the other time I'd taken one of my dad's 30-06, and I loaded it, pulled the trigger, firing pin hit, and it didn't fire. And with those attempts, now looking at it, like there's obviously a reason I'm still here, and I want to think now that it's for this reason, this tough enough, right? is for me to help people and to reach out and to try to let people see the light and help them through some struggles. There were a lot of other negative ways I coped as well. Like, I was angry a lot. I got into alcohol. I got into drugs. I got into violence. Obviously, I got into legal trouble. All kinds of negative behaviors that were just destructive behaviors, right? And so this plan and this idea of the Tough Enough movement is showing people my new definition of tough, right? That definition of tough for me now is tough enough to talk about it, right? We as people, but a lot of men, we don't want to talk about those things. It makes us feel weak and like we're not tough. But being tough enough to talk about it is toughness now. And then being tough enough to ask, to check in on people, and not just the basic, hey, how's it going? Like, if you can tell somebody's struggling, I want that. No, how are you? Like, how are things? Can I help? And then being tough enough to let things go, let go of your past, let go of your mistakes, let go of the bad things that have happened to you. You can't change that, And so, and then there's gonna be tough enough to hold on to, like tough enough to hold on to the things you love, tough enough to hold on to the things you care about, and the people you care about, and then tough enough to reach out and help other people in ways, and I just want people to know that you are tough enough, and that's what this whole movement I want to be. I'm going to be starting a podcast for it called the Tough Enough Movement, and in that we will interview and talk to people who've gone through struggles, whether it's addictions or depression or losing somebody or anything like that, or people who have developed coping mechanisms to help with their depression or mental health or anxiety. So throughout this process, I'm going to try to be bringing people on and talking about struggles and opening up and figuring out the ways that they have coped that help and the ways that they have coped that didn't help. My coping mechanisms were very negative, very destructive for years and years, and it's like I wish somebody would taken me aside 20 years ago and talked to me about it and had me open up and helped me in the ways that I want to help people. And so hopefully, if you guys like what this is going, and you'll like and follow and keep up to date with what's going to happen. It's just a starting process right now. I've started the social medias. I'll be starting the podcast here soon, doing a couple recordings with all that, and hopefully branch out further and start being a resource for people to reach out to, and that we can help in any way we can, whether it's finding you help or just talking to you. So I think that's about all I want to say. But the first episode in that podcast will be more about me and my story, and the negative things I've done and the rough patches I've had, and we'll give a full outline of that. And then after that, it'll be some other people that I'm going to interview. I'm working on who the first guest will be and how often that'll be. So if you guys have any questions, please reach out. If you have any pointers, let me know. If there's anybody you think I should talk to, or anybody that you think needs to hear this, tag them. Let them know that you're tough enough to be there for them. I want people to open up as well. So like, if you have a story to tell it, and hashtag it with Tough Enough or the Tough Enough movement, so that we can let it know that being tough is not what it used to be. and we can all get tougher and be better together.